literally just have like 10 minutes before my calls start for the day, but want to jump on here, see if I can answer any questions or encourage you. Maybe tell a few jokes that aren't funny that nobody will laugh at, but then people do laugh to make me feel better, which really helps my self-esteem a little bit. Got a very busy day today. I've got basically meetings booked all day from now until 5 p.m. So, fun stuff. Usually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are pretty busy. See if anybody shows up. Oh, we got one person watching. What's up? Abhishek, is that right? Abhishek the Kerr. Hope you're doing well. Where are you from? Very unique name. Guys, I've just got like 1 minute here. Well, 10 minutes to answer like 2 to 3 questions about recovery and encouraging you a little bit. Rebbe Landshark. Sounds dangerous. What do I coach? What do you mean by that? Elaborate a little bit. Are you asking, like, what I help people with? Is that what you mean? I help people with a lot of stuff. You can basically say I'm like a life coach, but I specialize in complex trauma, anxiety, depersonalization, realization, stuff like that. So Trans Spewman says, hi from UK, struggling with present self-acceptance. So I can talk about that for a second. Well, elaborate a little bit, guys. You got to give me some more context here. It's hard. I like to give nuanced advice, and so if you want to contextualize that a little bit. What's up, Dylan? Good to see you, buddy. Dylan, you shouldn't be on these live streams, my man. You're a client of mine. You know better. These live streams are usually pretty symptom focused because that's where people are at, you know. But one of the things I teach my clients is like we want to get away from the symptoms. But anyway, but you're awesome, Dylan. Good to see you, buddy. What's up, Adesang? Yeah, so I haven't seen any questions that are going to be easy to answer so far. Good to see you, Dylan. Have a good day, man. Okay, here's one. The Rebbe Landshark says, so I did DMT like 4 years ago, and for like a year, I felt like I wasn't living my own life. Is that depersonalization? So the first thing I'll tell you is I can't diagnose or anything like that. But from an education perspective, yeah, some people would describe it as like you're not living your own life, like your body doesn't feel like your own body, and you just feel super detached from your life. Well, if you feel detached from your life, that's more derealization. Feeling detached from your physical body is more depersonalization. Mohammed says, thoughts on Dr. Gabor Mott. So I love Gabor Mott. He's wonderful. I have 3 of his books, and I really like him. So, I mean, I don't agree with everything he says, just like I don't agree with anything or everything anybody says. But I will say I really like him a lot. Like, I think he's wonderful. And I'm reading a book right now called Bad Therapy. There was this lady that was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and she actually kind of bashes Gabor Mate in this book. And she kind of says that she says that he's essentially exaggerating trauma and making it appear as if everything is trauma, which I disagree with. I don't think he's doing that. And just so you guys know my perspective on this, I definitely believe that there are people out there who exaggerate and everything is the end of the world. But there are a lot of people that are genuinely traumatized. Like they're really, really dysregulated in their nervous system. Their body is constantly going into fight, flight, freeze response. And I think we've got to be careful to not assume that everybody who says that they're traumatized is just exaggerating. I think that's a ditch. Like, usually a balanced understanding is somewhere between two opposite extremes. So one opposite extreme would be that nothing is trauma, nobody is traumatized, and everybody who says that they are is just exaggerating and they just need to toughen up, right? One of my favorite business coaches, I won't say his name because of the vast amount of respect that I have for him, but he does this all the time. He'll do videos like, oh yeah, it's all relative because like your trauma is this thing, but then you go to some country where there's bombs all the time or missiles, and it's like, is your problem really that bad? And I get what he's doing, but he's essentially kind of going to that opposite extreme where I guess nothing is trauma. But then, so you got that extreme of nothing is trauma, and then you swing it to the opposite direction, swing the pendulum on the grandfather clock to the opposite direction, and everything is trauma. So the balance is somewhere in the middle, which is some things are trauma and some things are not. Some people are traumatized. Some people are maybe a little bit too sensitive. They're just exaggerating and it's not really as bad as they think. But who I'm trying to reach are the people that are genuinely traumatized, just like I was, right? And it's very serious and it's not something that should be made light of, right? So anyway, guys, I do got to jump off here. I got a call starting in like a few minutes. And again, guys, it's kind of hard for me to do too much on live streams. I'm going to keep doing them because I believe that people are being helped, but I really got to get into your situation to give really nuanced advice. Iris says, is it possible for the nervous system to be so dysregulated that it can't heal / be regulated? So assuming that there's nothing medical going on, and whenever I say medical, I mean like some sort of organic, issue that just basically makes it to where you can't downregulate your nervous system, which there are some of those things out there. Not trying to scare you, but you should see a doctor. It's very important. But assuming that there's nothing neurological going on or medical going on that would just make it impossible to downregulate your nervous system, which is extremely rare, by the way, at least in my experience, then I believe that you can heal no matter how severe it is. We come across people all the time. It's been 10 years, it's been 15, 20, 30 plus years of symptoms, and they're able to get out of it sometimes in just a matter of months. So anyway, I always like to clarify, and that's why you need to see a doctor. So important. But at the same time, once you've been to a doctor and they've ruled out like, hey, there's really nothing medically going on, then at that point, we have to assume that this is kind of natural things happening, natural stress that is accumulated. And because of neuroplasticity, our brain's ability to reprogram, like we can rewire the brain, right? All right, guys, I do have to go right now. I'm going to do more of these. I'll be back on maybe even later today. Hope you guys have a good day, and we'll talk to you.